Godspeed to the city streets.
You were sleeping like you were in coma. You were not in a mood to get up and go to an office, but we all know staying with mom and sleeping till afternoon is quite impossible. Your mom tiptoed to your room and seeing you stick to the bed, she groaned. She knew that you don't wake up so easily, so she decided to cut the wire that was turning off the fan. Mom, you yelled and threw your pillow on the floor. She tapped her shoulder, being proud of herself as she woke you up. Thank God, you wake up. Come downstairs. She shouted loud enough that your eardrums started to shake. Mom, stop yelling, please. I am up, you said, jumping your legs in air. Your mom smirked and went to the downstairs before turning on all the lights of the room. You groaned, shutting your eyes. Oh, what did I get to do this family? Aish, you said and walked to the bathroom like a zombie. You brushed your teeth and taking a warm shower, you walked back to your room from where you grabbed a red tank top and black skirt along with white jacket. Slipping into it, you wore your red strappy heels and doing a little bit of makeup on your already beautiful face, you walked to the downstairs. Reaching the dining table, you grabbed the sandwich and taking a sip of the coffee, you smiled at your mom and rushed to the outside as you were running out of the office timing. While you were about to catch the bus, it started leaving you behind. However, you managed to reach the office, but you were 30 minutes late. Miss Ryan, boss is calling you in his cabin. She smiled at you. Why? You asked, pretending to be dumb as you didn't want to hear his cold lecture. Ma'am, you are late, and you know Mr. Jungkook doesn't like if anyone comes late even for a second, she said, feeling sorry for you as she knew how you will be treated by him. It's been 3 months since you joined Jeon's company. In these 3 months, you never did any mistake for which he could scold you, but today will be your first time getting scolded by Jungkook like other employees who get roasted every day. Jungkook is known to be one of the most successful and handsome businessmen in Korea. He is also known for his focus and dedication on his business. He is the person who can't afford any single mistake, and if any employee unknowingly committed mistake, even missing the document, she will be fired in the next second. This is also the reason that he is most successful businessman, though he inherited Jeon's company by his dad, but when his dad used to handle the business, he was not well known, but as soon as he handed his business to Jungkook, he took the company to the heights of success. Most of the girls want to be his girlfriend. They don't know his icy cold heart doesn't know how to get melted. Hey, would you wish me a luck? You said, tilting your head back towards her. Best of luck, ma'am. Fighting. She said, making a face. You smiled, looking at her. Reaching his cabin door, you knocked at it and waited until Jungkook called you inside. With trembling legs, you walked inside as you burst on at him. Miss Vian, you are late. Can I ask you why? He looked at you through his laptop screen. Mr. Jungkook, actually, I woke up late. You murmured, looking down at the floor only to hide your fearful eyes. He looked at you, shutting down his laptop. He got up from his chair. Fixing his shirt, he walked towards you, making your body covered with a sweat. Sir, you were cut off by him. I don't want to listen to you any of your excuses. You better focus on work. Did you understand, Miss Ryan? He laced each word of your name while leaning closer as a soft, minty breath. You nodded, pointing down at him. You may leave now, he said, walking back to his chair. Leave? Weren't he supposed to play like other employees? Why his voice didn't echo through the whole office? Why he didn't make me cry like other female employees who cry a lot once they leave his cabin? You thought in your mind while blinking your eyes at him in a surprise. Miss Vian, you are still here. Didn't I tell you to go back to your work? He glanced at opening the file. Oh, sorry, Mr. Jungkook, I was about to go. You bowed at him and twice and left his cabin. As you reached your desk, you plopped down on the chair beside your friend Meena, who looked at you, frowned as you were lost in your own thoughts. Winnie, did Mr. Jungkook call you? She rotated her chair towards you. No, he didn't, you reply, making a pout. It's good, then why you are sad? She asked, looking at your cute face. I am worried that why didn't he be like other implies? You asked, tilting your head towards her. What? She asked in a disbelief. No, I didn't want that. I just shocked that why he behaved nice to me, even knowing that I got late in the office. You know him really well. He fired the Zack for coming 1 second late in the office. You remember Arya, who was fired for not bowing down at him when everyone else did? What about King Dong, whom he fired for calling him Mr. Jungkook instead of Jungkook? You said, putting your hands on your cheeks. That sounds creepy, but maybe he's in a good mood, or I reckon he cracked a huge deal which gave him a lot of profit, and for a few minutes he forgot that he is an icy cold person who only knows how to scold, she said, chewing the gum. You thought for a moment and then spoke. I guess you are right. I shouldn't think much, rather I should only focus on my work. You said, taking a deep sigh, and started to work. After 1 week, Miss Y and I want the meeting hall to be perfectly arranged. She said, fixing his collars. Okay, sir, don't worry, you said, and walked outside the cabin. You were really panicking about this meeting as it was the most important meeting of the year. The meeting will decide to access the revenue of the company. If Jungkook would succeed to crack this meeting, the company will get more profit than previous years. That's why everyone in the company was getting anxious regarding this meeting. Jungkook was not going to afford any mistake as he had already ordered employees. If they committed a single mistake, he will fire them. Mr. Lee, who is Jungkook's manager, came inside and bowed at him. Boss, the meeting will be started in few minutes, so be ready, he said politely. Okay, by the way, did Miss Ryan set the meeting room? He asked while buttoning up his coat as he eyed his manager. Miss Ryan, she had not returned yet, but she informed before going out. I guess she went to buy something which was required for the meeting, he said in a bit shaky voice. What the hell? He yelled. His nose started to flare with anger. Sir, don't worry, she must be around the corner. I will send her in the meeting room once she reaches an office. He looked at his angry face. I had already warned her that I won't afford any negligence, then why she went out. She could ask anyone else to get that special thing. She knew really well that she had to be with me in the meeting, but still she went. Now go and find her, till then I will handle the meeting. His neck veins were popping out while his jawline was tightened. The manager bowed and dashed out his cabin. Meeting time. Everyone stood up as soon as Jungkook arrived at the meeting. Please settle down, all of you, he said, forcing a smile. Mr. Jungkook, please start the meeting, he said, looking at Jungkook's tense face. He nodded but looked kinda disturbed, which caught Mr. Simon's attention. Mr. Jungkook, is everything okay? And where is your secretary? Wasn't she supposed to be here? He asked and looked at his not so satisfied face. Mr. Park, she must be here sooner. Let's start the meeting. He smiled while clenching his hands under the table. That's not fair, Mr. Jungkook. I already informed you that everyone should be present. This is not a simple deal. This deal will give you millions of dollars, but it seems you don't bother, he said quite coldly. No, Mr. Simon, this is not so. I am very serious regarding this deal, he said, trying to convince them somehow. If you are serious, then where is your secretary? I had already informed you that all the higher position employees should be present here, and your secretary being in the highest position, she is nowhere to be found, he said, making Jungkook more pissed off. Mr. Jeon, please wait a little more. She must be coming, he said pleadingly. They all discussed on each other and decided to wait a little more. On the other hand, buying the bouquet of roses, you were heading back to the office, but all of a sudden you hear some people shouting and bending down on the road. You ran to see the elderly woman lying unconscious on the road. You rushed to an old woman and bending down, you extended your hand to check her pulse. A sigh of relief left your mouth when you felt faint thrum of life beneath her fingers. Why you guys are not calling the ambulance? What's stopping you? You said fetching got your mobile phone from your bag. Within minutes, the ambulance arrived and took over, lifting the injured woman on a stretcher. The woman looked at you and face smiled before closing her eyes. You stayed there until they drove away. Suddenly, you remembered that you were getting late for the meeting. Picking up your belongings from the road, you hurried towards the office. Mustering up some courage, you knocked at the door and went inside, bowing down at everyone. You looked at Jungkook, who gave you a look that you were fired. Let's proceed the meeting, he said in a low voice, glaring at you. His glare was making you weak, but you were trying your best to ignore him during the whole meeting. Everyone looked satisfied by his extraordinary presentation. I hope you understand everything. Thank you so much for being the part of this meeting, he said, bowing down at them. Impressive, Mr. Jungkook. Let's shake hands as you got the deal, he said, smiling. They all chuckled and started to congratulate Jungkook as they left. You were all so given to make the quiet exit, but Jungkook cold voice made you stop on your feet. Miss Lee Wyan, come here, he said coldly. His arms were crossed over his chest. Mr. Jungkook, you mumbled, making him more pissed off. You know that you are half an hour late. His voice was cold while he was glaring at you through his dark eyes. I'm sorry, Mr. Jungkook, there was an accident. You were cut off by him. I'm not here to listen to your excuses. Because of you today, I was gonna miss this deal. The deal for which I worked day and night. Your necklace could make me suffer, he said. Mr. Jungkook, let me explain. You were trying to speak out, but he made you stop. Miss Ryan, get out of my sight before something happens, he said, not even looking at you. Your heart sank hearing his cold, icy words. Blinking back tears, you picked up the file from the floor and walked out of the meeting room. Jungkook was rubbing his temple, trying to minimize his anger, but it was not gonna happen any sooner, as he fueled with anger. In the meantime, his mobile phone rang. Grabbing it from the table, he glanced at the mobile screen. It was an unknown number. He answered the call after few ringings. What? His mobile phone slipped from his hand and dropped on the floor 1 week later. Jungkook was reading some files when a gentle knock sounded on the door. Come in, he said without looking up from the files on his desk. The door opened and a grateful woman entered in. Jungkook looked up and smiled to see his mother. Mom, what are you doing here? He got up to get his mother. I just wanted to see your secretary, she said, sitting on the armchair. My secretary? Why? He asked, frowning as he sat in the sofa next to her mom. Because she saved my life, she said, her expressions filled with emotions. Your life? He asked, crunching his eyebrows. Yeah, a car hit me while I was crossing the road. If it had not been your secretary, I think her name is Vayan, I might not be sitting here right now, she said with teary eyes. What? It was Vayan who brought you hospital that day? He was trying to process what his mother was saying. Yeah, she stayed with me until the paramedics arrived. She called from help. She was late for her work cause she was saving me, she said, taking a deep sigh as she recalled the bad day. Jungkook got frozen at his place as reality hit him. I don't know, he said as his mouth went dry. He felt really bad. Jungkook fetched out his mobile phone from the pocket and called you. Miss Vayan, please come in, he said softly and cut the call. You entered in his cabin after knocking at the door. Mr. Jungkook, you called for me? You asked, bowing down. Suddenly your eyes fell on a lady who was sitting on the chair smiling at you. You frowned looking at her. Miss Vayan, she is my mom. You saved in a road accident a week ago, he said, introducing you with his mother, who got up and gave you a warm hug. Your mother? You looked at him confused. Yes, I'm Cook's mother. I came here to thank you for saving me that day. You have got a beautiful soul as well as face. She caressed your hair gently. Miss Vayan, I apologize for my earlier behavior. I should have not behaved rude to you, he said in a regretful voice. No, ma'am, it's not Mr. Jungkook's fault. His goal was on point that day. Because of me, he could lose that deal. You said being honest. And Mr. Jungkook, you don't need to be sorry. As a boss of this company, it's your duty to keep an eye on every aspect and treat everyone equally, you said, smiling at him. Jungkook stared at you and felt himself lashed into him. Auntie Mrs. Jeon cleared her throat. She leaned to him and whispered, "Don't be shy, Bun, just tell her about your feelings." She whispered near his ear, making his cheeks. After that, she left the cabin. "Miss Ryan, did you get everything done for tomorrow's party?" he asked, staring at you. "Yes, Mr. Jungkook, everything is done." You said. He nodded, and then you left the cabin. The next evening, the party was in a full swing as everyone was dancing and enjoying themselves out. You were dancing along with your friends while Jungkook was staring at you, smile crept on his lips. In the meantime, a boy came to you. You turned around to see your brother Minhu smiling at you. "Oppa, what are you doing here, and when did you return from Paris?" you asked. "Your boss manager is my friend, so he invited me in this party. By the way, my little sister has become more beautiful in these 5 years," he said. Jungkook, who was looking at both of you, started to fuel with anger. He gripped the glass in his hand so tightly. Without saying a single word, he left the party. Manager came to you running. "Miss Ryan, did you see Jungkook?" he asked. You shook your head and started to search for him around. It's been 3 hours and everybody had left for their houses while you were searching for Jungkook around us. He was not answering your calls. "Mr. Jungkook, where are you?" you said to yourself while looking at the fairy lights which were blinking. You sighed and dialed his number for 15th time, but no response. Suddenly his location showed to you as you rushed to find him. At beach, Jungkook was sitting at beach, broken heart. The girl whom he loved had friend. This thought was not letting him stay at ease. Yes, Jungkook secretly, but he was so cold. He didn't know how to express his feelings to you, how to tell you that he dreamed about you. His heart sank since the moment he saw you with Minho. While he was deep in his thoughts, a familiar called him from behind. He looked around to see your pissed off face, which was looking so cute. "Why you came here leaving the party in middle?" you asked, sitting on the bench beside him. "Why you came to the beach?" he asked, looking at you. "Because someone told me that boss was missing," you said. "Why you are concerned about me?" he asked, frowning. Words slip from your tongue. "What did you just confess to me?" "Then what about the guy whom you were hugging?" he asked, tilting his head to you. "That guy is my brother. Or did you think of him as my boyfriend?" Mr. Jungkook, you shouldn't fall into conclusions early, cause it might after break you badly, you said. You were cut off by him. Two days later, it was a weekend night and you were in Jungkook's room. You were standing in front of the mirror, your fingers twirled a loose strand of your hair, your lips curled mischievously as you began to speak in a deep, cold tone. "Oh, Ryan, we need this report done by yesterday," you mocked in a manly style. You laughed looking at your reflection in the mirror. "Why you are always late? Why you can't do anything properly?" you grumbled in an exaggerated manly voice while rolling your eyes. Suddenly you froze when you witnessed Jungkook's reflection in the mirror. His arms were folded over his chest as he poked his inner cheek on his tongue. "Jungkook, I was..." Your breath itching in your throat. As you saw him walking towards you. "You do a pretty good impression of me, mimicking me," he murmured. Before you could say something, Jungkook looked at you in the mirror. YN, he whispered, making your heartbeat race faster.